working with MobileMark, premier antenna supplier. We've been working with MobileMark for many, many years, and for Chris specifically for many years. So Chris is going to take you through a great presentation. We've got some questions. There'll be a little bit of interactivity. We're going to have some skill testing or trivia questions where people can win Visa gift cards and awesome Yeti tumblers. So as the questions come up, basically just we'll remind you, but you'll enter your answers into the chat, and the first person to provide the correct answer is the winner. So hopefully everybody learns a lot, has a bit of fun, and without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Chris, who is Head of Business Development for MobileMark Antenna Solutions. Over to you, Chris.
All right, thank you very much, Stephen. Thank you for everybody for joining this webinar today. I really appreciate it. Like Steve mentioned, MobileMark has been a partner with Novitech for a long, long time. Novitech's been a good partner of ours for a long time, and I'm excited to be a part of this webinar series that Steve has put together. Like you mentioned, we do have some prizes available along with some trivia questions. Very simple, fun trivia questions that I have sprinkled throughout this presentation. So after I ask the question, if you could just put in the chat the answer, first person to get it right, Steve will notify as to whether or not you win, like I said, one of the Yeti tumblers or a $25 Visa gift card. With that, I'll go ahead and go to what I'm going to be covering today. Not knowing exactly who here on this webinar is familiar with MobileMark, I'm going to go over our company a little bit, who we are, what we do, where we operate in, and kind of our strengths and our value proposition. Then I'm going to go into the different vertical markets that we operate in, and share with you, where we play within these different industries. Go over some of the resources we have available to you and your sales teams to be able to utilize these as tools to help with the sales cycle and sales process. Go over some more popular markets or products by the vertical markets. Also have a new product that we just launched. Have an announcement for that and some details on that. And then I'll have some time available to answer any questions you might have. So with that, as a reminder, as I get to these fun trivia questions that I have sprinkled throughout, make sure you type the answer into the chat, and so that way Steve can notify you, if you're the first one to answer correctly. So MobileMark, we have been in business for 40 years now. This year, actually in July of this year, we're going to be celebrating our 40th anniversary. We've had a very solid track record throughout that 40 years of success and support to our business partners and our customers. And we're dedicated to the success of our partners and to you and your businesses. We kind of pride ourselves on being the wireless experts, the antenna experts, when it comes to understanding solutions, understanding the applications and the markets that you operate in. And we, our a big part of our value proposition is working with you very, very closely and supplying the best antenna solutions for whatever application and whatever project you are working on. With that, we have a team of engineers here that are experienced and in both antenna design and application solutions. So again, this kind of goes to look beyond the antenna. What are the overall challenges that you might be having with wireless connectivity? Where are there opportunities, and where are there challenges that we have to overcome? So we actually have a full team of engineers and operations available to help you and your team solve these solutions. Now, all of our products are made in the USA, so it's something that we are very proud of. From start to finish, we source locally out of our facility in Itasca, Illinois. We source locally, we build here, and that gives us a really good hold and check on our quality. So from start to finish, everything's sourced locally, everything's checked, and we have a very low failure rate to support that. We have been manufacturing out of our facility in Itasca since 1984, and for those projects that do take U.S. federal dollars, all of our antennas comply with the Buy America Act. Additionally, since we do have our on-site engineers here, from the design to production, we are able to streamline the process. And in those instances where you do need a custom solution, we're able to do everything on site, from the preliminary design to the testing to prototyping to all the way to production. So, and again, our results demonstrate our success. We have a very low product failure rate. I believe with Novatech, it's at 0.006%, so extremely low through, I believe, I want to say about 14 or 15-year history we have with Novatech. Additionally, some of the certifications we hold, we just became last October, it became ISO 9001:2015 certified. Again, all of our antennas are comply with Buy America Act, as well as REACH, RoHS, and conflict minerals compliance as well. Additionally, one of the advantages of MobileMark is the fact that we're easy to do business with. We're located out in Itasca, Illinois, which is just outside Chicago. So we're located in the central time zone. So for the most part, with any of your customers or anybody on your teams, we're not going to be more than a couple hour time difference away. So it's real easy to do, to schedule calls with us to get answers to questions. I think most of the people from Novatech will attest to my ability to get back to people really quickly. My availability is, and my turnaround time for questions and answers is very quick. And again, we're able to, provide cross-functional teams to, provide the optimal solution for you and your customers. And we have a wide knowledge of experience that we can leverage against over 16 industries and vertical markets. So before I get into the actual, the different verticals and industries we serve, kind of some updates that we have. I know we're not too, hard to believe we're not really not that far outside of, the COVID emergency that gripped the world and caused all kinds of supply chain issues. But up through the end of to the middle of last year, we were still having some, but we're proud to say that our current lead times for about 90% of our products is only 3 weeks at this point. So from the time we get the order to the time we can ship is usually not more than 3 weeks for most quantities. Additionally, we're in the process of updating all of our antennas, especially Wi-Fi and cellular, to go to up to 7.2 gigahertz for both Wi-Fi 6E and 5G applications. And also, we're in the process of simplifying our part numbers and our model numbers. For those of you familiar with MobileMark and our part numbers, the method to our madness can be quite maddening, to say the least. And so we're in the process of updating a lot of our nomenclature and our part numbers to make it simpler to understand and simpler to communicate to customers. So the big vertical markets that we operate in, there's 16 primary ones. There's additional ancillary ones on top of this, but these are the big ones that we really operate in, and kind of where we really find our sweet spot and within the market are fleet management, infrastructure, mining, utilities. We also do a lot with land mobile radio, public safety. We have a really large line of what we call 6-to-6 or 5G ready antennas. And then we've also worked with customers that are in precision agriculture, IoT, trains, passenger rail. We actually have a line of passenger rail compliant antennas that are compliant for passenger rail, both in the United States and in Canada. So that's something that we have available to you. Private networking, military, Wi-Fi, medical IoT, smart highway, also known as CV2X or ITS, and then, of course, your industrial IoT as well. These are the primary industries and markets that we serve, but it's by no means everything that we offer. Additionally, within that, I mentioned LMR, which is the land mobile radio, which is, your UHF, VHF frequencies, which are utilized by not only US, but also Canadian municipalities. And, we have a whole line of base stations, mobile antennas, Yagis, marine panel, and accessories to go along with that. And that is available through Novatech, through our Comtelco line of LMR antennas. Additionally, some of the things that we have to support you and your sales teams in regards to the different vertical markets are our line cards, or what we call our industry flyers. All of the 16 industries that I've mentioned earlier, which was on the previous slide, we actually have a line card available to you. It's through our website, www.mobilemark.com, resources tab. All these are available to you. You can, download it, print it, whatever you need. And these are primarily our top products for each one of those vertical markets. Through each one of those vertical markets, we do separate into things like mobile, infrastructure, device, and things like that, depending on the actual market itself. But we do have our most popular product lines for each one of those line cards for each one of the vertical markets or markets that we operate in. Additionally, for those of you that are, selling routers, LTE routers, we have our matchup guides. This is also available through our website. These aren't really great for printing because they are interactive, but it's a great tool to have. You can download them onto your computer, and it makes it real easy to find the right antenna for whatever router you're looking for. We've got them for a wide range of routers that are on the market, with either Digi, Sierra Wireless, Cradlepoint, Multitech, Redline, Peplink, Radiant, Microhard, InHand, Yuan, Moxa, Teltonica, Teltelic, BESIC Technologies. And then we also have one for your P25, which is your Motorola, L3 Harris, and Kenwood radios as well. The way these work is that you just click on the router that you're trying to match up, takes you to another page where it gives you a number of different antenna options, as well as information on the antennas themselves. Makes it real easy to find the right antenna solution for whatever router you're trying to match up to. The only thing you need to, once you get those options, the only thing you need to decide is color and cable length. But the rest of the part number and information is provided to you. It makes it real easy to find the right solution. And again, if it's not on there, feel free to contact your Novatech sales rep, and we can work on getting maybe something customized if the application and project that you're working on requires that. So with that said, the first trivia question that I have for you today, and again, remember to put this in the chat. Steve will be moderating that, and the first person to answer this right will win either the Yeti mug or the $25 gift card. So the first question I have is, how long has MobileMark been in business? Steve, I'll let you decide when it's closed.
Yep.
for
Wow,
answers.
we've got a lot of very attentive people. My gosh.
Good.
So on my end, anyways, Greg Plank. Greg Plank is the winner. Greg, I'll be contacting you for your information after this webinar. Well, I probably have your email, but I'll contact you for a bit more information. And congratulations, everybody else got it right too. Since 1984, 40 years. So you've got a pretty smart audience here, Chris.
All right, fantastic. Thank you very much for your attention. Really appreciate it. Whenever you do these things, you sometimes worry that you're talking into a void or a bunch of blank faces, but obviously people are paying attention. So thank you very much. So the next thing I want to cover is kind of based on the different vertical markets that we operate in, some of our more popular products within those markets. Of course, there's not enough time to go through everything, so I've kind of whittled it down to just a few different industries. First one that's really taken off for us over the past few years is utilities. As smart grids become more and more prevalent, really around the world, the need for wireless communication is just increased dramatically. So we have a number of different antennas. One of the requirements of this market is that you have something rugged and robust. So when we design or modify antennas for this market, that's one thing that we take into account is can this thing handle abuse? Can they be, I wouldn't say that they can handle a baseball bat or anything like that, but they're generally going to be tougher and more resilient than your standard infrastructure or even mobile antennas. So we have antennas, designed for the NEMA boxes, infrastructure antennas for communications along the grid, and even, of course, even fleet management antennas for the service vans and crews and so forth. But some of our more popular antennas that we see within this market would be like our RMWB1 here, which is a one-element 5G antenna. It's often referred to as either the shot glass or salt and pepper shaker antenna. We actually have this in a number of different configurations. With most of our antennas, we can custom configure cable links and connectors, and it's available that way. But we also have it with a direct end connection as well. And we see this utilized in a lot of, fixed site networking, remote monitoring, and, those applications that, aren't maybe transmitting a lot of data, but need something sturdy, robust, and that's going to work, regardless of the environment that it's in. So this is a really good antenna for that application. If more data is required, where you see, a lot more information being sent and received from these boxes, then we have our LTBG308, which is a 2x LTE and 1 GPS. Again, this is designed, a very slim design, but also very tough and rugged. And it's ground plane independent, so it's really designed for use on NEMA boxes, especially those that might be utilizing fiberglass or plastic, because no ground plane is required. Makes it really easy to install. And additionally, you can actually, in cases of NEMA boxes, because it fits right on the box, often on the door, you can open and close and service the boxes without having the need to take off the antenna or move anything with the antenna.
Also, just let everybody know, this is Steve here. I'm monitoring the chat. So if anybody wants to know a little bit more about an antenna, or often there are different specs that would make it a game changer for some of the applications you guys have, let us know. And if we can answer it, I'm sure Chris can answer it. But if somehow we don't have the answer, we can get it for you after this call. So just
absolutely, absolutely. And I apologize that neither Steve nor I mentioned this earlier. But if you have any questions, please put that in the chat. Steve is moderating and he's paying attention to it. And we're more than happy to answer. If you have any questions, we can answer them. Either right away or at the end of this presentation. So either one's available. Another one that we just launched is our SMW 208. This is a 2 antenna, and actually we just expanded it to we can actually throw a GPS in here as well. But it's 2 5G LTE elements, and of course now a GPS, and it's a very small profile for a lot of the utility boxes that are out there, especially some of the newer ones that are being launched in the market that are maybe require more equipment within them, so they're going to be larger, a little bit larger, but then they'll have a router that needs that 5G, 2 5G LTE elements for higher speed data. So again, these are some of our more popular antenna models within this vertical market. Like I said before, it's by no means comprehensive of everything that we offer, but it is kind of a good snapshot of the types of antennas that we carry for this vertical. Another one that we're seeing a lot more activity in is the enterprise, utilizing 4G, 5G LTE for not only fail-safe or failover data for offices, businesses, retail, but often being utilized as the primary source of data for these institutions and these campuses. The ability to inexpensively scale data within an office environment is becoming really prevalent, really beneficial for a lot of companies right now, and we're just really seeing this market take off. And with that, we also have a line of antennas designed for this market as well. These are going to be more along the lines of fixed site antennas that would be designed to be installed at the exterior of the building, often on either a pole or a wall on the outside of the building. So the first one is our BPN 942. We call this our multi-band base station. It's one of the few that are on the market. It has 4G, 5G LTE elements in there. It can cover CBRS, private networking, C-band frequencies as well. This antenna actually houses up to 4 5G LTE elements for either, like I said, your LTE or 5G, private networking, C-band applications. It also can contain up to 2 Wi-Fi 6E and GPS in there as well. This is designed to be mounted in a number of different ways, primarily on the outside of a building. We have wall mounts available, we have pole mounts available, we have a J mount available. So a lot of different ways that this can be installed. And since it is omnidirectional, you really, as long as you get it above, ideally above the roof line, regardless of where the source antenna is out, you should get, pretty good coverage on this antenna. If you know where the tower is at, then even a really good solution is what we call our dual band Yagi antenna. So this is the model number is Y42700WB-2X, but what this is, we call it our dual band log periodic Yagi. So it's a 2x2 5G LTE MIMO antenna. It is directional, so it's got very high gain. So as long as you know where the source antenna is at, where the primary tower is at, you can point it at there and get really good coverage, almost regardless of how far away that antenna is. Within reason. The fact that as you can see here with this picture, that the antenna is The Yagis are kind of slanted a little bit, and what this does, it provides dual or circularized dual polarization. So it means that this can be mounted in pretty much any orientation, and you don't have to worry about, it picking up signal. It'll pick up the signal regardless of what orientation that this thing is mounted in, which is very beneficial, as you get to some, kind of unusual or non-orthodox types of buildings or installation requirements. That becomes really beneficial in installation, making it a lot easier to just kind of point at the tower and pick up that signal. Additionally, we also have, we call this our covert antenna. We're seeing this a lot more utilized, especially for smaller businesses or a lot of retail locations. This would be utilized. This has up to 2 5G LTE elements, 2 Wi-Fi 6E, and GPS. We're seeing this with the enterprises often being mounted right by the window in a smaller office, or often utilized for things like ATM machines or self-service kiosks as well, where this can be mounted on, the external of a metal cabinet, inside of a window if you're in an office. Just a lot of different applications, or a lot of different ways this can be mounted and utilized. One example that we've been seeing a lot of is actually being hooked up to a Digi IX20. As you can see here, our 402 series would connect the 2 LTE and then, of course, the Wi-Fi for this router. And we're seeing this a lot in like self-service kiosks, whether it be at places like fast food restaurants that are often utilizing these, or other services, or some place that is utilizing this type of technology. The fact that this hooks up directly to the router and can be easily and discreetly just stuck on there right outside the cabinet. If it's made out of plastic, then it can actually go on the inside of the cabinet as well. And we've been seeing it, we've had really good success in this vertical with this antenna and that type of configuration. Going on to the next vertical market, this is probably, this is by far our bread and butter, which is public transit and fleet management. We got involved in the mobile cellular market very early on in our business. We were right by the Motorola worldwide headquarters, and we got our start really working with Motorola on cellular technology. So as that kind of expanded and moved on into different types of applications, we kind of followed along with it, and public transit and fleet management is a big one for us, basically since the inception of the technology. And with this, our workhorse really is our LTM WG 900 series. This is, if you're familiar with mobile market at all, you know this antenna. This particular antenna can now house up to 4 5G LTE elements. It can actually handle right now up to 6 Wi-Fi 6E, not just the 4, but 6 Wi-Fi 6E, and of course your GPS and GLONASS elements in there as well. We're seeing this antenna utilized on a lot of buses in both the U.S. and in Canada. We've had a lot of different projects over the past few years utilizing this antenna for 5G connectivity within buses. The example here is an IBR 1700 through Cradlepoint. It's just a one antenna solution will connect to all the 5G LTE elements, all the Wi-Fi elements, and of course, for utilizing Wi-Fi within the bus as well, we have a line of antennas that will fit within there as well for the interior of the antenna. For more along the lines of like service vans and things like that, we have our LTMG 508. This is 2 5G LTE elements, 2 Wi-Fi 6E, and GPS. The 5-in-110 antenna has been around for a long time. It's still being utilized by pretty much all the router manufacturers that are out there. Specifically, one that we see quite heavily is through Sierra Wireless. The RV55 is a really popular antenna for Sierra Wireless, and this one antenna solution connects the 2 LTE, 2 Wi-Fi, and of course your GPS on there as well. With the same type of 5-in-1 multiband antenna, we also have we call it, our max fin antenna, which is basically a shark fin style antenna, which is becoming more and more popular among fleets, specifically with public safety. As the Ford Interceptor Explorer has become pretty much the go-to vehicle for pretty much any police agency in the country. The need for an antenna that fits within the ribs of those Explorer and Interceptors is becoming much more of a necessity. Just like a lot of our competitors, we do have gaskets that will fit within any of our other antennas, but having the antenna fit right within the ribs, it becomes a much easier install, a much cleaner install, and reduces the likelihood that there's any issues. Anybody that has experience, utilizing a gasket on these antennas with the Ford Explorer, we'll know after, doesn't take long before a bunch of bugs and dirt and grime and road grime kind of makes its way between, within those gaskets, causing, potentially a lot of problems with connectivity. So having an antenna that fits right within the ribs of the Ford Explorer is a very beneficial thing, because again, it makes installation easier and reduces the likelihood that there might be any complications going forward after the install is completed. Just like I showed this antenna before with Enterprise, and it is a big one for Enterprise. We're seeing a lot of success in, but it was actually designed for fleet management, specifically for covert vehicles, police vehicles. This antenna can fit, just double-sided tape right to the windshield or rear window of a vehicle, and provide the the LTE connectivity, Wi-Fi connectivity, and GPS all in one, easy to use, easy to install antenna. We call it our candy bar antenna because it is shaped kind of like a Hershey bar. But we've been seeing, the prevalence and use of this, going way beyond its original design, which was for public safety and fleet management. And kind of rounding out everything is passenger rail. I mentioned earlier that we have a line of antennas that are designed for passenger rail and meet passenger rail requirements in both the U.S. and Canada. So one of the things that's really required when you enter this space is having the materials. Everything that goes into this have to have certain material requirements regarding, fire resistance, fire safety, smoke, halogen, environmental concerns. And we do have a line of antennas that meet all those requirements for antennas for both the US and Canadian markets. So, and again, this is by no means comprehensive, but our passenger rail, our PR line of antennas, we have them for the LTE, external LTE antenna. So for instance, our PR LTMG 508 meets the NFPA 130 and EN 5155 standards required by passenger rail companies in Canada and the US. All the materials within this antenna utilize special materials that meet those safety requirements. It's a polycarbonate radome, which is fire retardant, and for that meets NFPA 130 requirements for smoke and low halogen smoke, and then of course a number of different antennas. And so I use the PR LTMG 508 here as just as an example, but any of our LTM line antennas, whether it be a 2 LTE or 4 LTE version, can be modified and made compliant for this market. Additionally, kind of going on with what these services offer to passengers, we also have our internal Wi-Fi antenna for this market as well. So this one is designed to be mounted on the interior of one of the train cars to provide Wi-Fi connectivity to the passengers. So again, just like the external antenna, certain materials have to be used for safety and environmental requirements, and this antenna meets that requirements. Makes it really easy to provide Wi-Fi connectivity to passenger rail passengers. So with that, I will go on to the next trivia question. So if you're ready. So this one's going to be a little bit tougher, but I think you guys have been paying attention. How many Wi-Fi 6E cables are in our CVWG 508? So how many Wi-Fi 6E cables are in our CVWG 508?
Okay, people are typing in answers here. But lots of interest coming in. All right, we're going to give 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're cut off. So I think the answer is 2, isn't it, Chris?
That is 2. That's correct.
Alexandra is the winner. I just gave you a little thumbs up. 2 question mark. We'll accept it because you said 2.
All right. And just out of curiosity, what was Alexander's last name?
Can you type your last name in, Alexander? Corbin.
All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep track of this myself here. But you're the one. You're the one. Steve's the one that's gonna be following up on this. So, all right.
Good stuff.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Big winner. Big winner. Winner. Winner.
Winner. So at that, I'm going to go into a new product that we just launched, something that we're really excited about that we've been working on for a really long time. It's one of the few, there's very few models like it that's on the market right now, and it's our MX900 series. So what this is, it is a shark fin style antenna with up to 4 5G LTE elements. We've actually just expanded this, so it'll actually fit up to 5 Wi-Fi 6E or Bluetooth elements, and of course your GPS, GNSS antenna. So again, it covers all those. It's up to 10 cables, and it will fit within the ribs of the Ford Interceptor or Ford Explorer. So this is what it looks like. It's a very sleek, good-looking antenna. The dimensions are, it's only 9 inches long by just over 2.5 inches tall. And just like with the industry standard for base bolts, it uses the standard 7/8 inch 20 thread base bolt, which you'll see on most multi-band fleet antennas. So the benefit of this, it's one of the few antennas that will fit within the ribs of the Ford Explorer for public safety vehicles. And on top of that, it has up to 4 5G LTE elements, now up to 5 Wi-Fi 6E and your GPS. It currently is IP67 rated for water and dust ingress. We're in the process of testing it for IP69, which looks like it's going to happen. So expect an update from us within the next couple months that it'll be IP69 rated. It also meets all standard military and industrial shock and vibration testing. And just like all of our other antennas, made in the USA in compliance with the Buy America Act. We do have this in both black and white, and it's available for order. A real popular model that's being utilized by public safety right now is the CRXR80. So with this, a 2 antennas, it's always been, it's been a 2 antenna solution since it was launched. At this point it still is, but now we have 2 of these antennas fit within the ribs of the Ford Explorer, no additional gaskets needed, and it'll connect to all 8 of the LTE ports, your Wi-Fi ports, and of course your GPS. Like I mentioned before, with this router, it takes Fokker connectors. All of our antennas can be custom configured for cable length and connector type. So if you need this built with the Fokker connectors, we've already got it skewed up with the Fokker connectors. Additionally, if you are using the LPWA, we have a couple of antennas that are available for use with that as well. So kind of, what I want to go over next is, just real quickly is some of the new things that are coming out. So we're always in the process of, product development. We're always developing something. We're always doing something. The next big thing, next great thing coming from us, we're actually in the process of designing an 8x8 or 8 LTE 5G LTE antenna. So a single antenna with 8 LTE 5G LTE connections. It'll have up to 8 Wi-Fi 6E and of course your GPS or GNSS. So that XR90 that we're just talking about, that's currently a 2 antenna solution for pretty much everyone, will soon be a 1 antenna solution. We're looking at a timeline of probably at the end of this year, end of Q3, beginning of Q4 is when we're looking to have this available. If you have any projects that are coming up that might benefit from something like this, please reach out to your Novatech rep. We are in the process of doing some prototyping. So if there's any opportunities out there that might be able to use this, we could potentially get a sample for testing. So again, contact your Novatech sales rep to get kind of the conversation started, if you think this is something that, you know, your customers could use. And with that, we'll finish up with our last trivia question. And I hope everybody gets this because I just discussed it. How many 5G LTE cables are in the new MXG 944 MaxFin?
Okay, we got some answers coming in fast and furious here. All right, so we'll give the 5-second warning here. 5, 4, 2, 1. All right. Oh, Sam got in just under the radar, but is the answer is 4, Chris?
The answer is 4.
The answer is 4. So Ryan Valila is the winner. Ryan Vilela. Good job, Ryan.
Great job. Thank you. So with that, you know, it's kind of next steps. You know, I appreciate everybody's time and joining me on this webinar today. Hopefully you found some information useful. You know, where we play in the space is we finish the connection. So we are the antennas that connect the whole system together. You know, every part of the wireless system is important, and you know, at every stage of that deployment, you know, there's opportunities for incremental revenue, incremental customer service, and, you know, just supplying the best solution to your customers. So if you have any questions or are looking for more information, please contact your Novatech sales rep, or you can email sales@novatech.com. You can also visit our product pages on our website, which is at www.mobilemark.com. Check out our spec sheets, check out our matchup guides. And, you know, and review the related products and materials for the different antennas I discussed on this webinar. I will be sending a copy of this deck to Steve, who I believe will be sending that out to everybody that's on this call. So you'll have this available for your reference as well. Any other questions? You know, if you need anything else, you can also always reach out or go to novatech.com, www.novatech.com for additional information as well. If you do want to contact me, you know, my number, you know, my information is here, ctalbert@mobilemark.com. I do recommend you reaching out to your Novatech sales rep because I'm the direct line for them. So, you know, you reach out to them, they're going to reach out to me and, you know, make sure that, you know, everything's covered.
Yeah, I think now you may have covered it and I may have missed it. I'm just, you know, I guess my question goes out to everybody. Is there an application or a use case that, you know, Chris didn't speak about? Did you mention anything about private wireless or private 5G?
I did touch on it briefly through the specific antennas that I discussed. Specifically, you know, really when it came to enterprise solutions, I did talk to that a little bit, primarily through either CBRS or other private networking.
Yeah,
there's a lot of different technologies for this. You know, some utilizing LTE, some utilizing 5G, some utilizing CBRS frequencies. Even carriers are kind of beginning to get into this space now and utilizing their own services for private networking as well.
Perfect. Give everybody a second in case somebody has a specific question. All right, so I think that's about all for now. Chris, thank you very, very much for your time today. On behalf of Novatech and the entire audience, thank you for your time. And yeah, like Chris said, reach out to either Novatech, either by email or telephone, and we'll more than happy to help you guys out.
Thank you, everyone. Again, appreciate it. Thank you, Steve, for putting this together.
No problem. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.